Hello everyone, welcome. I'm a freelance video editor. Probably I can't convince a client that I possess advanced skills in video editing. So, to build trust and credibility is the way to make in-depth tutorial. So let's go. There are many kits out there, but Boris FX Primatte Studio is always the first one I reach for. At its core, it has rock solid Primatte keying, and on top of that, it includes custom container modules for denoising, automatic color correction, and garbage mask, powered by Mauka and AI Object Brush. I'm Mohammad Mokhleshur Rahman for Frame Thinker. Check out the link in the description to view my Upwork profile and send me a message. And today I'm gonna show you everything you need to a great looking key. You need only two layers and a single effect. So let's go Adobe Premiere Pro. I'm working inside Premiere Pro right now, but unless I call it out explicitly, everything I do in Primatte Studio works exactly the same regardless of which host you're working in. Here is my setup. I'm gonna king this young woman into the bedroom. In my timeline, I have a background on V1 and foreground on V2. Right on top of that, I'm gonna apply Primatte Studio for the first time now, and I will go effects and search for Primatte Studio. Here is my effects, and I will click and drag onto the foreground. Now I will go effect controls, and here is my effects. This is a full featured keyword. We can do a lot here, and it's broken down into various modules. But before anything else, I'm going to show you two important options. The first one is auto analyze. If I click it, it does my initial key instantly. If you prefer the older workflow from the classic BCC Primatte Studio, you can interact in the viewer with the filter selected. But honestly, it's a clunky way of. A much better approach is through custom Primatte UI. So I will reset my effects first and then effects, then open it either by effects editor or hitting the refine key button. This brings us into the Primatte Studio effects editor, and all the keying tools and interactors are laid out in a toolbar. There is no hunting through drop-down menus. Over on the side, there are presets. If I click it, it looks a bit odd. Some are doing strange things to the skin tone, and others are asking me to set up background layer first. So I will cancel out of the editor, go back to the effects, and set my background layer. In Premiere Pro, I will select V1 because since that's where my background clip lives. In After Effects, you would choose a specific layer instead. And this time when I open the effects editor, all the presets are available. If I click full one click here, which triggers the auto analyze at the top, it scans the shot, figures out what's the most likely to be background, and keys it out. The result is quite nice, and you can see it's not just remove the background, it's doing some color work too. See the difference. I'm not gonna start with the preset. I wanna build this up step by step so you can understand what each piece is doing. I have reset everything back to defaults. First, I will define the background. I will click Auto Analyze in the samplers. Though I could also manually sample the background if needed. Now it's hard to evaluate the key just by looking at the final composite. Instead, I will open the AB view in the viewer. I will zoom in using the Fit option button or scroll wheel and middle mouse button to pan around. I can choose to see the final composite, final key, matte status, final matte, and more. And I will set my B view to the final matte. In matte view, white means completely opaque, black means completely transparent, and gray means semi-transparent. Looking at it now, I can see there is some gray in the background. And on left hand, the key is a little noisy. With clean background selected in the cleanup toolbar, I will click and drag rectangle over the area that need cleaning. I'm being careful not to over clean at this stage. I will, I will explain why in a moment. But I want to use Spill Sponge to tackle the green fringe. I will select it and brush over the area in the bottom viewer. Now I will switch to clean foreground in the toolbar. Switching through the view states with the numbers key at the top of the keyboard is a handy shortcut. When I look at the matte status view, it suddenly looks worse than before. That's because matte status only show 3 states. Black for fully transparent, white for fully opaque, and gray for anything in between. It doesn't tell me how transparent something is. This is useful for spotting problem areas I might have missed. I will do a little more cleanup here, and then I will stop. I don't want to over process the primary key. The primary key is done. Now I will focus on the modules in the right hand side, and I'm going to work big to small. That's the fastest path to a great key. It's so much easy, so I will show a most complex keying. So I will apply for another shot. I have set up another keying process or keying shot. If I go effects editor, you can see both sides have a light drawer and door, also a wall. I think it's a most complex keying process. Same, I'm gonna click auto-normalize. You can see green screen is removed almost fine, but lights, wall, and door still remaining. So I will open AB view. Same, I'm gonna set to final composite and A view to the final matte. You can see same here is some gray area. The same way I will choose clean foreground, clean background, and click and drag rectangle. Almost done. I'm here to describe especially the garbage matte. So I will choose crop. You can see first I will crop top left. So I will increase gradually. You can see what's happened. Same as like crop bottom right. All unwanted are disappear. Now I'm gonna click play button. See the nice looking key. Now I will click apply back to the previous shot. Now we are here our first shot. Previously we experienced how garbage matte works. Now I will work rest of the presets or modules. Earlier I used the spill sponge to tackle the green fringe in the hair. Now let me show you the proper way to handle this. With the spill suppression modules, I will turn off the spill suppression off and set it to none. So you can see what happens without it. There is a big green halo, and not just in the hair, but also blending into the entire body and make a green tint. It's a quite obvious. Instead of using the regular spill suppression, I'll go straight to secondary spill and turn that on, almost magic, without touching any of default settings. The green is gone, and it's not just in the hair, it also cleaning up the green tint that was on the skin from the bouncing light. Now I wanna bring back fine hair detail, sort out the edges. That's what the edge cleaner module does. Without enable it, the edge looks rough. With it enabled, it looks blurry at the edge. First, I will increase the radius as I bring it up around 17th, 18th or 19th. You can see it's pulling in extra hair detail. I'm gonna off and on. You can see what's the difference, but it comes at a cost. It starts eating in the main key a bit. That's where alpha contrast and edge sensitivity comes in. I will bring edge sensitivity up. I will land around 98 or 99, and that gives a strong edge sensitivity. Not too much. There is no gray color in the subject, so alpha contrast will not increase. I think I haven't any reason to use alpha contrast, but I want to show you why you want to with alpha contrast. Suppose I increase radius around 100, so you can see there is a gray color appear. So at this, suppose you increase radius around 20 to 25, but you got a gray color. So to remove or disappear, if you increase the alpha contrast gently, you see the gray color is disappear from the key. That's enough. So I hope you understand why alpha contrast use. Now I'm going to back my setup around 18th and 0. Like F9. I will also open up matte adjust. I will enable it. The black clip and white clip controls are a good way to removing remaining grain without destroying the nicer edges. I also have ability to shrink and grow the matte. A common trick I like to use for hard edges is to shrink the matte by about maximum or minimum 1 pixel. So I'm gonna set it around minus 0.35. See, look at the difference. The hard edges is gone or disappear. There is still some gray area, but I will take care later. Let me compare before and after the matte status starts. The matte adjust. I always try to stay light-handed. Go too hard without losing the shape. Let me compare before and after the matte adjust. Subtle is the goal, and the result become obvious. This is quite nice. Now I'm going to head into what I think is actually the most important of making this composite convincing. This module I will use the color link I enabled it, so it takes background color and apply to the foreground. So that's where you see the difference. You can see background color is a very light. So I will reduce blur around 185 or 6, and also I'll down opacity around 47. Here are some options you could experience. Also, here is a blend mode. You can explore your footage. So I will with soft light. That's match with my footage. A little around 4. I'm gonna contrast down slightly, as well brightness a little bit, but I will increase the saturation around 8 or 9. Now you can see the difference around 8, and saturation I wanna down a little bit more, like 4 or 5. Okay, fine. I don't touch any other parameter from color correct. Now let's focus on the edges. Even with all the work done so far, there is still sharp differentiation between foreground and background along the edges. This is where things really come together. My secret weapon here, light warp and edge color correct. I will go back into a B view, B view as a final composite, and A view to the light warp edge on black. I will enable light warp. See the difference. We get a great looking key. There is no border or tint. See over here. And now I'm gonna close AB view and set final composite. So so my work is done and I got a nice looking key. So I will click apply. So after all the doing stuffs, I got a great looking key. I mean, I have done remove the green screen without losing a single hair. This is the power of Boris FX Primatte Studio. So I will click apply and go back to the Premiere Pro. This is my first tutorial, so maybe you got I am hesitating when I do or when I make the tutorial. So if you have any question, just comment below. I will try my best to answer the all questions. Thanks for watching my tutorial and see you next time. Bye.